welcome to Jurassic Park 3 Minute, where we'll be discussing the second Jurassic Park sequel 1 minute at a time. I'm Brad.
I'm Dave.
And today we are back to end out the week with minute 49 of Jurassic Park 3. But before we get to that, David, you are planning an expedition of your own.
I am. I am graduating college here, and by the time this episode will be released, I probably already will have on May 11th. And looking for a treat for myself, just to get out there and get on my own, just take a little mini vacation for myself. You know, I'm going to return to the Redwoods and hopefully get to see a lot more of the stuff that I had missed the first time I went there. Stuff like Big Tree Wayside. I'm talking with some people to try to pinpoint the Stegosaurus encounter location, and gonna drive out there because driving out west was something I've always really wanted to do. And then I'm gonna drive back, of course. So it's really gonna be like a 2.5-3 week adventure.
Yeah, well, that's it. You're near Chicago, so it's a good drive across most of the country to get across there. And
it'd take me about 3 to 5 days, I think.
Yep. It would be fantastic to see you driving a green painted RV, but an RV for one person's a bit overkill.
You're gonna have to deal with the Chevy Cruze.
Yeah, and you'd never get near any of the locations apart from the car park anyway. But yeah, no, that sounds fantastic. I even just doing the research now and trying to pinpoint these locations and get the best to your knowledge of where they are, and just getting there and finding out for yourself and seeing some of these locations, getting photos.
Mm-hmm.
It should be good.
So yeah, I'm planning on I'm planning on camping out there. So I've got all the equipment. I ordered a cot for myself just because I don't want to sleep on the ground. I've done that before, and it's not as much fun as sleeping with something under you.
No, definitely not.
And so I'm also got a DC to AC converter for my car, so I can charge up, keep my camera all charged up. But yeah, I'm pretty much prepared. I've packed some firewood just so that in case I feel like having a fire one night, you know?
Yeah. Oh, you never get better ambience at a campsite than just having a fire burning at night time.
Yeah, because I researched it. I'll basically be on like the main interstate that runs through the country for pretty much 90% of the time until I hit about California. And then I researched where to stay, and they got one spot called Elk Prairie Campground, and that's where I think I'm going to be at. I've tried contacting them today to ask them some questions, but they didn't pick up the phone. So I'm going to try to contact them and find out all I can about the campsite.
Yep. I've just been thinking of what props could you take to sort of interact in amongst the redwoods, and the only one I'm thinking of is maybe getting onto Craigslist or something and finding an old white canvas tent that you could do the nighttime T-Rex attack or something.
No, I am going to bring the Willis and Geiger hat and jacket.
Oh,
though.
yes.
So
yep, definitely.
That's definitely going with. And then I'm also going to bring the 12-inch scale Velociraptor figure that came out for fun with Fallen Kingdom, just for some diorama shots, you know.
Mm-hmm. No, that'll look fantastic. Some of those little creeks.
Mm-hmm. Would love to get the Mosasaurus, but I'm leaving like the May 20th, and unfortunately, that figure doesn't come out until June 1st.
Oh, that's all right. You can't reschedule the trip for a toy.
No, I do have plans for that, though.
You might have to see if you got room to take the green T-Rex, male T-Rex as well.
Well, since I'm driving, I'm gonna have a lot more room to take with me, take stuff. So that was part of the reason why I'm driving too, is because getting all this stuff on a plane would be a massive hassle. And then I'd have to rent equipment, and I already have the equipment, so why would I rent it? So it'd be just easier to drive.
Yep. Yeah, you don't have to worry about the crew at the airport damaging stuff as well. Yep.
So yeah, packing will be a lot easier for this trip than when I went in 2014, because when I went in 2014, I had to pack for both dinnerware and then safari wear, because we stayed at like a bed and breakfast, and you can't just wear your fatigues to dinner. Here I'm camping out, so it's a lot easier. I can get away with jeans and a t-shirt, you know?
Yeah, yep. Lovely.
Is this how you make dinosaurs?
No. This is how you play God.
Dave, while everyone's been busy working on Jurassic-Pedia.com, they've also set up the new forums over there, and we have a Facebook discussion group as well.
Yes, we do. We have the group in the forum. The forum, we're trying to see if it takes off. We're not really sure if it will. Unfortunately, the internet forum is something of a dying format. Yeah. But the Facebook group, we have been getting some very slow but steady membership requests. And so anybody's welcome to join that. Anybody who listens to the podcast, if you're a fan and you're on Facebook, just look up Jurassicpedia discussion group. Just answer the questions correctly, and you're sure to get in.
Yeah, we're all over there. So anything you want to discuss Jurassic related, it's a great place. If you see something on Pedia that you're not quite sure of, or if you see a mistake, let us know as well, so we can correct it. But that's good over there. We're sort of working hard to keep the trolls out, keep all the crap out you see in a lot of groups that is just needless posting for posting's sake. So
unfortunately, one of the groups I'm in is it's the official Jurassic World group that Universal set up, and it's just a lot of people are leaving it right now just because there's trolls and spam bots and stuff, because Universal was moderating it at the beginning, but they don't seem to be doing that anymore, and so it's just kind of been left to fend on its own.
Yeah, that's one mistake you get a lot of groups make, is they're going for numbers and not quality. It's all about having 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 members, but they're not really policing what's coming in, who's coming in, and what's being discussed in there, because really 2 or 3 admins are going to have a hard time policing a group of 10,000. So unfortunately,
the membership is only at like 8,000, which is not even. What is that Jurassic Park the group at now? I think
26 or something.
20, yeah. It's not even half of what. It's not even a quarter of. A third of what Jurassic Park the group has, and so that's another group that me and you are a part of, Jurassic Park the group on Facebook. And I think the numbers are low just because it has such a high troll rate. People don't. It kind of has a bad rap. You know?
Yeah, that's it. And I think we had 9 to 11 admins working in that group when Fallen King was coming out, just to try and keep spores out, trying to keep everyone on topic. And
and just because I remember we were getting like 40, 60 requests a day from memberships.
Yeah. And that's just memberships, not even post approval. So it was a busy time, and in 2 years' time, it's going to be very busy again.
Mr. Kirby, there's no such thing as Kirby Enterprises, is there?
It's Kirby Paint and Tile Plus. The Plus stands for bathroom fixtures. We're in the Westgate Shopping Center, Enid, Oklahoma.
So I don't suppose that check you wrote us is any good.
All right, now, listen to me. I will pay you the money that I owe you, no matter what.
Here we are in the worst place in the world. We're not even being paid.
All right, Dave, ready to end out the week and discuss 49?
Sure.
As we end minute 48 of Jurassic Park 3, we're back in the treetops of the jungle with Billy, Paul and Amanda. Billy had given up on searching for Dr. Grant, while Paul and Amanda were having some personal time in another tree. As we transition between the minutes, Paul's telling Amanda how Eric was a strong little kid, and you throw someone like Ben Hildebrand in the mix, well, at the 10-second mark, without even breaking a stare, Amanda asks, well, what? And Paul's lost for words. At the 20-second mark, Amanda closes her eyes, and then replies to Paul, no, Paul, if he was with you, he'd be safe. You drive 5 miles under the speed limit, and I've totaled 3 cars in 3 years. At the 43-second mark, Amanda shakes her head and says, I'm so sorry that you have to be here. Paul simply replies, I'm not. And as we're in minute 49, the camera slowly pans down as we transition to morning, and the first rays of sun over Silsona shine down through the jungle. As we ended minute 48, Paul was telling Amanda that none of this was her fault, and Eric's always been a strong-willed kid. As we open here on 49, sort of Paul repeats always, and then you throw someone like Ben Hildebrand into the mix, and Paul struggles with the words, but he just says, you know. And here we are once again being told about Ben Hildebrand and not really knowing him at all. Here, maybe Paul's sort of hinting that he was a bad influence on Eric.
We kind of got that, I think, before, is that Paul seemed to be disapproving of Ben Hildebrand. You know?
I wonder if it's just jealousy, where it reminds me of Simpsons, where Bart gets the big brother and sort of is a lot cooler than what Homer is, and Homer's sort of more jealous that this guy works at SeaWorld and trains dolphins and is like an action man, outdoors, sporty and that, and here's Homer, or here's Paul sitting at home, or sitting in his tile shop, doing the numbers on a weekend or something. And it gets a reaction from Amanda here saying, know what, but Paul can't answer, implying that her choice in boyfriend might not have been the best. And there's definitely a lot more to that later on in the script. But after a moment, she smiles and it says, if he was with you, he'd be perfectly safe. You drive 5 miles under the speed limit, Paul, and I've totaled 3 cars in 3 years. Which, that makes sense. I could see Amanda as being someone that just saw that housewife isn't really good at anything and destroys cars. But Paul responds sheepishly, well, not free. The Buick wasn't a write-off. And this is finally what gets Amanda to lift her head and gives him that look. That look when you see it, you know you're in trouble. And he continues, I just said it was so I can get the SUV. So Paul obviously didn't like that Buick. He wanted to get an SUV, and when Amanda scratched it, no, it's a write-off. Get rid of it. But Amanda rests her head back onto the tree, and we're going to once again hear those ankylosaurs groaning and moving amongst the jungle underneath them, unless it's something else. But she sort of says to him, I'm so sorry that you have to be here. And Paul replies, I'm not. Which, he's loving this journey, even though he's sort of bumbling his way through it. I mean, he really hasn't been at the end of any danger yet. Yes, the raptors were chasing him into the field, but he and Billy got up that tree pretty quick, and it was Amanda that fell for the trap. So we're going to see probably in a month's time, he being a bit more daring and putting himself in danger with the Spinosaur. But the two spend the rest of the minute just quietly looking at each other with a smile as the animals can be heard again, and we get the music start to lift. And it's sort of interesting too, this whole time he's got a torch / lantern hanging from the tree here, and I had to go back to look because I was wondering where the hell this come from, but his Paul's carrying a backpack through the lab and into the trees, so it must have been something he salvaged from the plane that we haven't seen previously, because Udesky threw his backpack away out in the field again. They haven't been down to the jungle floor since the raptor attack, so
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was going to say maybe they salvaged it off of Udesky. But I forgot you're right that he threw his backpack in the field.
Yeah, so the only other one with a backpack was Grant had his rucksack on, and Billy has the parachute on. and lost the camera bag, so it makes me wonder what else Paul's got in there. Maybe some rope and some Boy Scout stuff in his backpack, but we don't really see anything else come out of that backpack. But as the minute ends, we sort of get a slow transition as the first rays of sunlight coming through the jungle floor in the morning.